adventure, sports, outdoors. With host Harry Canterbury.
There I was, back in the wild again, and I felt right at home where I belong. I had that feeling coming over me again, just like it happened so many times before. Yeah.
Hi, Harry Canterbury with another edition of Adventure Sports Outdoors. Join us today as we go to Chicagoland at St. Charles at Pheasant Run Resort for the 50th anniversary of the Midwest Decoy Collectors Association's 50th anniversary decoy show. What a show. Some of these decoys are worth tens of thousands of dollars. They're worth a lot of money. It's the only American folk art that is really American. Everything else comes from Europe. But the duck decoy is 100% American. And it was really nice to see old friends and visit with these decoy experts at the St. Charles show. So join us today for a great program.
Adventure Sports Outdoors, brought to you in part by Corsaw Lumber, manufacturers of quality hardwood products, buyers of standing timber in Smithfield, Central Pool Supply, everything from pools to pool tables and much more in Peoria on West Pioneer Parkway. Michael O'Brien Commercial Real Estate and Recreational Ground, Remax Unlimited Commercial. Kelleher's Irish Pub and Eatery, located on Peoria's riverfront, open 11 a.m. daily. And by Allwyn & Sons Meat Company. Our thanks to all of these sponsors.
Hi, Harry Canterbury with another edition of Adventure Sports Outdoors. Join us today at Pheasant Run near Chicago, Illinois on this wet spring day at the Midwest Decoy Collectors Association world's largest decoy show. It's really a neat thing, a lot of really expensive decoys and a lot of antiques to take a look at. So join us today for a great program. Let's go inside and take a look. I could walk around this place all day. The things that were there were unbelievable. And the finest decoys that were ever made in the United States are all present in one fashion or another. There were Shane Hyders, Lormans, Perdue's, Lincolns. It just goes on and on and on. Every decoy carver in the United States, almost, I may have missed one, are present at this show. And these are the experts, the people, the stewards that catalog and maintain the integrity of these fine pieces of art. I'm here with Jeff Seregny, and he represents the Midwest Decoy Collectors or Decoy Association here at Pheasant Run. We've been touring around looking at all the great exhibits, but this is the 50th anniversary, is that correct, or 51st?
That's right. It's the 50th anniversary. This show started in 1966 in Ottawa, Illinois, with a bunch of early collectors who just decided it would be kind of cool to get together and compare, show each other their decoys, and maybe even do some trading. And they found a small hotel room, and some of the wives came and they had a little dinner, and it's 50 years later, it's become the largest and longest running sporting collectible show in the world, I suspect.
How long have they been here at Pheasant Run?
Since about 1981 is my recollection.
81.
Yeah.
And I do need to say this, that the prices of these decoys, I looked at a book from 1980 that they had a bunch of them from Dieter, and decoys that they were selling in for $300 and $400. They went up to, they're up to $3,000 and $4,000, but the economy hasn't been really good to the decoy collectors. Prices have slid back a little, but for a person that wants to get into decoy collecting, it's a very good time to do so. Is that correct?
Absolutely. It's a buyer's market. It really is. And you can collect, I mean, I know collectors who collect decoys in the $50 to $75 range and enjoy the heck out of those, and I know collectors who deal in multiple, thousands of dollars and tens of thousands of dollars and have the same amount of fun.
Last year, 2 decoys sold for right at $1 million. And in fact, there's a little story behind it. The guy that bought the wood duck,
Mason.
you know the story. Tell everybody
Well,
about it.
it was a Mason wood duck, and they're very rare. There's only 2 known, I believe, and it was in great condition. And it was bought by a gentleman on the phone from California, and it turned out to be the last decoy he bought.
He died 2 months later.
He did indeed, and he was ill, and the decoy collecting market knew that, and many folks knew him, and he was a terrific guy.
Yeah.
And it was a great thrill to see him win that, and there was a great applause in the audience when the hammer went down.
I also see there's other collectibles, such as what, Jeff?
Oh, I mean, it runs the gamut. We've got shell boxes, creels. You'll find rods and reels and old bamboo rods, that kind of stuff. You'll see tackle here. We talk decoys. In our heads, we say duck decoys, but don't forget spearing fish decoys.
How many people do you think? I mean, today is the big day, of course.
Yep.
I can't count how many are here, but do you still have the participation
Yes.
of all the people as you did years ago, or has there been a
Well,
decline?
certainly, the good old days there were more. Frankly, the collecting community has tended to be a little older, but we're finding some newer collectors too, which is great.
Yeah.
To answer your question specifically, we've got 300 and some odd dealers here. Some have multiple tables, 325 tables rather.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
So there are probably 200 plus dealers here, dealing, as we said, anything from duck decoys to creels to shooting. I mean, there are there are goose bands, some primitive items that came out of the Indian and Native American community are here, because they're all sort of connected with hunting and fishing and those kinds of things.
Right.
And we'll get, during the week, anywhere from 1,200 to 1,400 people come through the hotel during room-to-room trading and the auction and this event. This is a 2-day event. It'll go on
And it's
tomorrow as
open
well.
to the public. Anybody
Yes.
can come.
Yes.
And it's really, I look forward to it every year. And this is about the 5th time I've been here. And it's really an amazing show. And there's always something different every time
Yes,
I
there are.
come.
Yep.
Jeff, I want to thank you for giving us an idea about the show. This is the 50th year. It's hard to believe 50
Yeah, it
years.
really is.
A long time ago. Yeah, it was. Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
We're here in St. Charles, Illinois at Pheasant Run at the Midwest Decoy Collectors Association's 50th Decoy Show. I'm standing here next with Jerry Cranwell, holding one of his fine pieces of art. Jerry's from Manitou, Illinois, and we did a show on him about a year ago. And Jerry, what are you holding there?
This is Sprig Drake, pintail Drake.
And you make just about everything. You've got geese, swans, you make them all.
Try to make them all. Yep. You never know what they want.
That's right. You know, a few years ago, I'm saying 20 years ago, Jerry and I had an idea that a lot of guys, duck hunters especially, when they die, and they go to heaven, but their body's still here, we cremate it, put it inside there, and we really, well, you did do that. Tell us what you did.
Well, my parents are in a mallard drake that I did, and then my wife passed away almost 3 years ago. And I made a swan and hollowed that out, and she's in that, and that's where I'm going to end up. So
that's right. Well, a neat concept. It really is.
Yeah.
It really is a neat concept. But Jerry does a fine job. Of course, we made the show last year, and one of the greatest artists, Illinois decoy carvers here in Illinois. And now we're going to walk through the place and show you a bunch of decoys. I'm here with some real special people, Joe and Donna Tonelli. This is their life. They've been collecting and selling decoys for a long time, and Donna is a very accomplished author. She has wrote 3 books. And Donna, tell us what those books are.
Okay, I have Top of the Line Fishing Collectibles, which was my first book. Then I had Top of the Line Hunting Collectibles, which is kind of like the old Time Life books. It's a story of waterfowling and hunting through the pictures of the collectibles that we collect now.
What's really nice about these, you would call these coffee top books, because if you like to sit down and read a chapter or look at a few things, it's just something to refer to or to look at. It's just it's not a book you stick on the shelf and forget about it. It's something you can look at all the time.
I have a lot of collectors that have bought the book and tell me, I've made money because I bought that book of yours, because I didn't know that duck decoy weights were worth money, or...
They use it as a reference guide.
A reference guide,
yeah. Right. In your opinion, what was the best duck decoy, mallard decoy made in the Illinois River Valley as far as appearance, as far as artistic beauty? In your opinion, what is your favorite duck decoy?
Hunting too?
And hunting, yeah, all around good decoy. One that looks good on the mantle, but looks good in the water.
Walkers?
Walkers. And you?
I'd say Walker Pintails. I'm sorry.
Walker Pintails. Well, thank you for the interview. I really appreciate it. I want you both to continue on this great adventure of what you're doing. You guys are some of the happiest people I've ever known.
I've been lucky.
Hey,
the Lord's been good to me.
Many people go through life, and all they do is they go to work. They don't want to go to work. You guys look forward to go to work every day.
All right. I thank you. I've been lucky. I've been very lucky.
Well, you're lucky to have her, too.
Yeah, she was my greatest find.
Yes, I think so.
All right.
I'm here with Vic Jennings from Mahomet, Illinois. And he used to be a school teacher, and now he's doing what he really likes to do, and that is make duck and goose calls. He's got quite a collection here, to say the least. He also makes, I'm going to show you this here before we get going. This here is a wine stopper. He makes wine stoppers and all sorts of other neat gadgets. Tell us a little bit, Vic, about how you got started in this business.
Well, like you mentioned, Larry, I taught school for over 30 years. I'm a vocational teacher. I taught woodworking, metalworking, engineering, drafting, architectural drawing, cooperative education, coordinator, so I kind of have a background of woodworking.
Can you show us some of the calls that you make here?
What
type of wood is that? That's a really beautiful wood.
A lot of the woods that's really popular in my area anyway is stabilized wood, any kind of a burl, and then you stabilize
Osage orange, you use that too?
Osage orange. Actually, this one right here, Harry, that's an Osage
orange.
That
is gorgeous. That wood is so
call.
pretty.
But that's some of the originals are these wooden calls, and then these here are calls that have an echo insert in them. I purchased the echo insert, this part here, but I make the barrel.
Now what's that? That looks like a doorknob.
It is, and I kind of got into these. I buy these on eBay, or I buy them in antique stores, and turn them into wine stoppers.
Pretty cool.
It has like a food grade cork on it. A lot of people come by and say, I grew up with that kind of doorknob in my house. So it's kind of a reminiscent thing.
Here's a solid black one. I remember a lot of those when I was a kid. So Vic, thank you very much.
You bet. Thank you, Harry.
I'm here with Lou Schifferl from Wisconsin, Neenah, Wisconsin. And he carves a lot of folk art, some really beautiful stuff. And your buddy over there, Conrad, he bought this buffalo, which I think is an extremely unique and interesting piece. How long did it take you to make that?
Oh, probably about 6 or 7 hours.
Really?
Yeah.
My goodness, you sure are handy and really crafty to do that. How long have you been doing this, Lou?
Probably over 50 years.
So how did you get interested? I mean, how did you know you had a little talent and you could do this stuff?
My dad was sort of an amateur woodcarver,
Yeah.
So it kind of runs in the family.
Yeah. Well, it usually does. The apple doesn't usually fall too far from the tree.
Germans are all tinkerers.
Yeah, that's true. And I see you make these neat frogs. I like these frogs.
Yeah,
These are some really cool frogs.
Fish spearing decoys.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know what fish fishing is, but they'd stick these in the water on a
Yes.
string and dangle
Yeah,
them.
right.
And then they'd have a hole over here in the ice, and when the fish come to eat the bait, then you would run the
Gotcha.
spear down there and you'd get them.
Hopefully you
Yeah.
got supper.
Do they still do that?
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
Do they?
yeah.
They can only do it they can't do it with muskies, but northerns and fish
Well,
like
whatever will come after the frog, you know.
that.
it's-
Yeah.
It's bait.
Well, hey, Lou, I just want to compliment you on such fine work. You are a very accomplished artist, and we appreciate you spending some time with us to show us your stuff.
My pleasure.
Thank you, sir.
My name's Reg Birch. I'm a resident of Shingatig Island, Virginia. I moved 7 years ago to Berlin, Germany, and I do my work there. I come to the shows, a couple shows a year here, and this is one of my pieces that represent my work. This is just a little fish that I carve. I'm mainly interested in decoys, ducks, but this is just a hobby for me as far as the fish is concerned. I do lots and lots, and I've been doing this for 40 years.
Hi, I'm Tim Kaplinger, owner of Wildfowler Decoys in Oriana, Illinois. I bought the company. It started in Old Saybrook, Connecticut in 1939. I'm using some of the original patterns, trying to bring back the Wildfowler gunning decoys. Here's a pair of canvas backs I've made. You know, the company's been around since 1939. It's moved all over the East Coast. I'm here in the Midwest and hoping I can make a go of it.
We're standing in front of some old decoys that Wildfowler made many years ago in Saybrook, Connecticut. Tim, tell us about some of these decoys here.
Here's a pair of pintails that were made in Old Saybrook. You know, it was in business from 1939 to 1957. You probably never find a better pair. That's all original condition.
Those are beautiful birds. They really are. Look at the painting on the back of that decoy. Isn't that just beautiful?
These are early because of the way they were hollowed on the bottom.
It looks to me like they cut a big hole in there.
They did.
Took it all out and put it back in.
Yep, sure did.
And what do those decoys sell for, Tim?
They got $2,050 on them.
No, that's for the pair.
That's for the pair.
Yeah, they're nice looking decoys.
Yes.
Well, I want to wish you the best of luck in your adventure, and congratulations
Thank you very much.
on buying the company.
Thank you. Look for me on Facebook. My Facebook page is Wildfowler Decoy Company.
Hi, we're Dave and Jeanette Kneebone. We are up at the St. Charles Decoy Show. We collect Illinois River decoys. We were lucky enough to meet Joe and Donna Tonelli along the way to help us get started in our collecting and enjoy the traditions of all the Illinois River birds and what they represent. What my wife has here in her hand is a nice Elliston decoy. He passed away in 1915. His decoys are one of the finest of the tradition on the Illinois River.
Hi, I'm Dave Barth with your Sportsman's Tip of the Week. Nothing's in season right now except varmints, and I have a good example of some Savage rifles that would make nice varmint guns. The first one right here is a new caliber on the market. It's a Savage model B-Mag, and it's in a 17 Winchester short magnum, which is a rimfire cartridge. This is a Savage 17 Hornet, which is a 22 caliber Hornet, neck down to 17, came out a few years ago. The rifle next to it with the wood laminated stock is a 17 Hornet heavy barrel. Not great range, but it's a fun caliber. Next to that we have a scoped Savage Axis rifle in 223. Greater range, you know, a good 300 or 400 yards. Next to that we have a 22-250. A lot bigger cartridge. The ammo's a little bit more expensive, but much greater range. It's a 400 or 500 yard rifle pretty easily. If you want a little larger caliber that you can also use out west, we have a Savage with a camouflage stock in 243. It's a fine deer and antelope cartridge as well as a varmint cartridge. You can get as small as a 58 grain bullet in that cartridge, up to 100 and some grain bullet. The ammo for these rifles is right here, and we'll start here on the left. And this is a Federal-made American Eagle 17 Winchester Super Magnum. It's a rimfire cartridge, came out a few years ago, and they come in boxes of 50. Next to that is the 17 Magnum, the VMAX, and it's also a rimfire cartridge. Stepping up a little bit, we have the 17 Hornet, the 22 Hornet, a 222, 223 from Hornady, and then we have a 2250, 22-250, and a 243. Excellent varmint cartridges, medium to long range. I'm Dave Barth with your Sportsman's Tip of the Week.
Man, those decoys are something. I've been around them since I was a little kid. When we hunted down at Duck Island, I used to have to carry a gunny sack over my back with probably 100 pounds of decoys. I'm really glad the plastic ones came along. But let's go back to St. Charles and check out some more duck decoys. This auction is the way to find out the value of decoys. They can vary from hundreds of dollars to tens of thousands of dollars. Last year there was one wood duck that went for $500,000 and one goose that went for more. These decoys have been around a long time, and the people that made them have passed away a long time ago. And usually the older the decoy, the more valuable it is. But in a lot of cases, it's the type of decoy and how many did they make. They may have made a few, they may have made many, and the more they make, the less money they bring. But in a lot of cases where a decoy is rare, it will fetch a pretty good price.
Hi, I'm John Dieter, partner at Guyette and Dieter, the decoy auction company, and we've been around since 1984. Since that time, we've sold about $160 million worth of duck decoys. And duck decoys may seem a little interesting as a collectible. Believe it or not, we have about 15,000 people on our mailing list, and for each auction, we produce a 200-page full-color catalog with guaranteed condition reports, and we mail this out to about 1,200 people. We do this 4 times a year. This happens to be our sale in St. Charles, Illinois for 2015, and we've been coming here hosting an auction for 30 years now. Each auction will be attended by about 450 registered bidders, and we also have bidding online through phone bids and absentee bids. Last year at this event, we sold 2 decoys, a Mason Premier Wood Duck for over $600,000, and a goose, they call it the slot neck goose, for almost $700,000. So decoys can get quite expensive. The world record is about $850,000 sold by our company back in 2006. Most decoys don't cost that much. In fact, if you attend our auctions, you'll find a lot of great pieces under $1,000. While we run 4 cataloged auctions per year, we also have an online site called decoysforsale.com. We have auctions there that close every Thursday night, guaranteed catalog descriptions, and about 20 items that really go through the same scrutiny as our catalog sales, but they're sold online. It's a great place for beginners and new starters, and especially if you're looking for something under $1,000. Hey, thanks, and I hope to see you here sometime.
Thanks. Twice for $6,000 selling, and sold to you 57.5. 6,000 once, looking for 62.5. 6,000 twice, looking for 62.5. Selling and sold $6,000. Twice for $7,500. Selling and sold $7,000. 12,000, 12,000 once, looking for 12,500. 12,000 twice, looking for $12,500. Selling and sold $12,000. 32,000 twice, looking for 33,000. 33 we got on the phone in the nick of time, and now 34,000, sir. And now 35,000. 34 and now 35 will go 35,000. 34 and now 35 will go 35. 35 will go 35,000. He sits 34,000 once, twice selling. Sold it to you, $34,000. Golden Eye Grape by Ward Brothers. Isn't this a neat one? 75,000, 70,000, love it now, 70,000 to 75,000. 70,000, how about 72,500? 70,000, now 72,500. 72,500, go 72,500. 70,000 once, looking for 72,500. 70,000 twice, looking for 72,500. Selling and sold, $70,000.
If you'd like to spend a great weekend at Pheasant Run, an old resort, but really a nice place. They've got swimming pools and golf course, and they got it all right there at St. Charles. Great restaurants. So if you ever would like to take your family and see the decoys that were made years ago and are preserved by these so-called preservationists, I think would be the thing to call them, try to go up to St. Charles every spring in April. You'll be glad you did, and you will enjoy yourself.
Adventure Sports Outdoors, brought to you in part by Corsaw Lumber, manufacturers of quality hardwood products, buyers of standing timber in Smithfield. Central Pool Supply, everything from pools to pool tables and much more in Peoria on West Pioneer Parkway. Michael O'Brien Commercial Real Estate and Recreational Ground, Remax Unlimited Commercial. Kelleher's Irish Pub and Eatery, located on Peoria's riverfront, open 11 a.m. daily. And by Allwyn & Sons Meat Company. Our thanks to all of these sponsors.
Decoy collecting isn't for everyone, but it is for a small group of people that really, really love them. I'm holding some mushrooms here. I wish they were real. I'd eat them. But this mushroom season was pretty pathetic. It was cold weather, it was dry, and when the rain came, it was still cold. The wife and I had 2 messes. We really enjoy them. I wish we could have got some more, but that's the way it goes. But now we're going to show you a little piece, a little time lapse on how mushrooms come about. A lot of people think they just pop up overnight. That's not the case. It takes them a little while to get to growth. And we're also going to show you a 1.5-pound mushroom that a friend of mine, Orion Briney, picked in Savannah, Illinois about a week ago.